Hey there, I'm Steven, and I'm here to and I'm here to talk about how to make a full song using just one sensor and a drum. This happens to be a Reverie drum and Ableton and the Sensory Percussion plugin. And so why not get started? I'll just have to get up off of the floor. All right, so before we get started, just a few things to go over. First of all, let me show you behind the scenes. Okay, so this is, my Ableton session, and I didn't mean to make it go full screen. Okay, and it is actually just the template right now. It's the template that's available on our website, which is on our manual website. And so right now, the only thing I've added to it is this microphone that I'm talking through. But you just go to this Sensory Percussion Ableton plugin, and you download. I'm using the Live 10 template, and then you basically get this. And all I've done into it is I've added this track. And then the other thing, just in case you're curious about the sounds that I'll be using today. I'll be using primarily Voyager Sounds Volume 1. I want to make kind of like an 80s sounding thing for you today. At least timbrely. I think it's going to be kind of, we'll see. Might be a little slow rather than like up tempo. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. Okay, and then so that's the starting point, which is just this Ableton template. Okay, and so let me just check the comments really quick. Cool. Nice. So here is the Sensory Percussion plugin. And you can see I have no models loaded, and you can see I've got a ton of signal coming in on channel 2. That's because it's wired up to be picking up my mic right now, which we'll have to change that later on. But I've already trained a model. I've trained this model right here. And because we're going to be using all of the channels, even though we're only using one drum today, we're going to be using all of these 4 channels and more. You'll find out. I'm actually going to be loading the same model across all 4 channels. This is something I do frequently when I'm using just one drum. Okay, and then now I've got to get the routing right. So you can see I'm using a Scarlett 2i2 interface, so there's actually only 2 channels. So these 2 are even grayed out. This 3 and 4 right here. And we are actually not going to be using channel 2 because that's my microphone. And my sensor is plugged into channel 1. And so I'm just going to change that on all 4. I'm not going to change the track title. Okay, and so change that there. Nice, okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and disable all of these, and this there's one more step I'm going to do. So just so you know that this is going to be when we print later on, and I'll explain what that is. But I'm going to leave these in place, but I don't think I'm going to be using the sends, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete the sends right away. Cool, because we'll be using some Ableton effects rather than send channels and sensory. Cool, so that looks good to me. And one last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate this. And that will make sense for later because we're going to be using 2 instances of sensory percussion, one for the percussive sounds and one for some tonal sounds later on. But we are going to start with the percussive sounds. Okay, and let me just check the comments, make sure everything's doing all right. Okay, it seems like it is. No news is good news. Okay, and so I'm actually going to record enable channel 4. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to start with the kick drum. And most sensory percussion presets have the kick drum on, all sensory percussion presets have the kick channel on channel 4. It doesn't really make a difference here, but we are going to, oh, I lost this. Let me, okay. Cool. and then flip that. All right, so back, we have that back now. All right, great. So what I'm going to do now is I went into kits, and I grabbed Voyager Sounds Volume 1, because that's where we'll be mostly, and I'm going to grab a kick drum that I like. So I'm going to drag it onto channel 4, because that's the one that I did, and then so hopefully, whoops. All right, so we got some sound. Cool. And let's go ahead and change the tempo down a bit. So I'm just grabbing the tempo, moving it down. Yeah, 87 sounds nice for right now. Okay, and I'm gonna enable the metronome, and I'm gonna start with a nice little click. Let's do a 4-bar phrase. Okay, there's a little misfire there. That's all right, though. We will correct that. That's not the end of the world. Okay, so let's loop that. Just get that going. Was a little bit fast on that. So right now, this is actually the sensor audio that we've got. Okay, so that's good. And this is a little bit like MIDI, which is interesting. So you see, it's coming in and it's just feeding that. Cool. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to quantize it, because that's something you can do. So I'm going to go to quantize things. I did play some 16th notes. Okay, because I want this to be like an 80s track and really right on the beat, better than I'm capable of playing. Cool. Let's make this a little bit more beefy. Just going to add a compressor. So I'm adding a compressor to... Okay, so something is causing that. I don't want that sound, so I'm just gonna now assign all of these to the center, just so that I'm not having this sound come off. Cool. Okay, so that's a good little thing, I guess. So now from here, I'm gonna search for a snare sound. Let's turn off the click momentarily. Okay, so let's try the snare. So I'm going to drag this onto snare channel. Normally it's channel 1 in Sensor Custom Presets. Again, that doesn't really matter here, but so now I'm going to enable this. Okay, so I like that. Okay, so that'll be fine. Let me now... Oops, I should put the click back on. I'm going to record that. Okay, cool. That's fine. So now I'm just editing this to be exactly 4 bars, because that will be helpful later on. And I'm going to quantize this again. I did play a little 16th note, so I'm going to go into quantize settings, and it's the same way. And excellent. So let's see if that looped okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take, let's do the hi-hat part now. So I'm just going to go from the same kit. So what I'm in here, this is the library. I kind of just blazed right through that. But, so kits, Voyager Sounds, and then so these are all names of kits right here. And I'm going to just find a hi-hat that I like. It was in here. So this has a little cycle on it, if I remember correctly. So let's see how that sounds. Okay, cool. I like that. And I'm going to do something. I have to take care of a little bass drum hit that I don't love. Okay. A lot of them I don't love. I might even redo the bass drum part. We'll have to see. Okay, so let me go ahead and just record that, though. Okay, cool. That's great. So let's quantize that to eighth notes because I only played eighth notes. So quantizing to eighths. Great. Okay. So from here, I'm actually just going to redo this bass drum part. I think I can play it better than that. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I'm going to quantize it to sixteenths. Kind of a repetitive process, but we're getting somewhere, and I'm going to do another 4-bar phrase after this as well. Let me just double check these comments, make sure that everything is going okay. Yep, okay, cool. Nice. Oops, okay, and trim this. That's much better. Okay, so now let's search for a, I kind of feel like a percussion part. So I'm going to stray from Voyager Sounds Volume 1, and I'm going to go into King Clave Sounds. There's some nice percussion sounds that were recorded by Amari Acosta. And let's see. So I'm going to drag, we'll see what this is. Oops, okay. And now record enable channel 2. Let's see. Okay, that's cool. Oops, oh, sorry. Okay. So I think I have a request to make the camera bigger. And is that right? Let me just double check that that's right. A bit smaller or more cropped. Okay, so sorry about that. I have to go in here and then peek behind the curtains. Okay, so you guys maybe can see a little better now. Okay, now back to here. Cool. Nice. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing, and let's loop this, and go ahead and quantize it to 16th notes. Okay, and I want this to sound a little bit more beefy right off of the bat. So I love this drum bus plugin. Yeah, it's nice. It always does kind of bring out the hi-hats a little bit too much, a little bit too sharp, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. We can go back into sensory percussion and deal with that. Like this. I'm going to go ahead and pan it. Hopefully YouTube broadcasts in stereo. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of a filter to this hi-hat so it's a little less sharp. Okay, that's cool. Let's do one. Let's do one more 4-bar phrase before we move on. So just one more 4-bar phrase, and then we're going to make a structure out of it. So here we go. Start with. Whoops. I need to disable this again. This is the sensor audio. I always thought that was super cool. Like I feel like coming from like MIDI and stuff. Like this feels a lot like editing MIDI, but you're actually editing the sensor audio that is feeding sensory percussion, which I think is really rad. But yeah, here we go. Here's another 4-bar phrase. Okay, cool. And I also, one thing I like about playing one drum is I kind of make decisions that would be different as a drum set player. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're quantizing that, and now make sure that it's 4 bars. It is indeed. Okay, the snare. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and add that snare. Oh, I see that we lost my camera. Let me just quickly. Put that back up. Okay, cool. Again. Cool. All right. So now this is good. And I am going to loop that and figure out some other parts. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, so from here. Cool. And lastly, the hi-hat. Let's see what we want our hi-hat to do. Okay, I'll just go ahead and loop this in play. Oh, forgot to quantize. Good. Yeah, I think I'll play a little bit of like 16th notes there. Let's do that. Okay, cool. And here we go. Well, go ahead and just play it in quantize as I'm going. Oh, sometimes this happens. Sometimes I don't select it, and this just happens to me all the time. But maybe it's more than just that. Maybe it's just not picking them up. Huh. Well, I think it sounds good, and that's the most important part. It's not picking up every single thing. Maybe if I increase the volume, I don't know. I've come across this before, and let's see if I. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes Ableton's quantize doesn't always pick it up, so it's not like 100% great as I guess accurate as if it were MIDI data, but yeah, it's just picking those up. That's okay. Cool. So now I will quickly check the comments and. Nice. Okay. Nice. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a little structure out of this. So I'm gonna talk while I'm doing it, and let's start with this phrase right here. I'm just duplicating it. I like to just go further on down in the session. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. Okay. I moved my mic. Okay. And so I'm just duplicating this a couple of times. Let's do 16 bars of this one with a kind of a build-up. Let's see how this sounds. So I'm just going to start erasing things. Okay, so this is like the first phrase. Let's take this out. Okay, just going to copying this over to here. Maybe we'll leave a little 1 bar. Is that 1 bar? No, that's way more than 1 bar. Oh, I think I heard a little bit of yeah, there's a problem with this. That's okay. We'll fix that. Okay. Okay. So one of my loops wasn't exactly 4 bars. And so I'm just going to go ahead and fix that. Actually, I'll fix it over here and we'll redo that step. Sorry about that. Where's the culprit? Sorry. It's this is much better. I can even just turn up the volume a bit. Okay, hopefully that's better. Okay, so right now I'm okay. This is the culprit. There was a problem. I was sloppy and I did not get this loop exactly right. So I just have to redo that last step. Apologies for that. I'll just go ahead and erase everything to there. Okay, cool. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to duplicate this and then move it over here. Whoops. Okay, and then duplicate it so that there's 16 bars, right? Okay, that's good. And then we'll do this. Thank you. And we'll do this. I kind of like that pattern. We'll see how that feels. And then now we're going to add the next phrase. Okay, cool. And I'm going to see how it sounds with a little 1 bar like break here. Okay, so this is a minute and 20 seconds, and yeah, we'll see where this song goes from here. But I think that if this song ends up being a minute and 20 seconds, like I believe the songs are too long, anyways. So a minute and 20 seconds is good. Okay, so now let's move on to some of this tonal stuff. Whoops. And would you believe it? I bet I messed up this loop too somehow. I felt like that got messed up, but okay. Well, yeah. Let's just try duplicating this one, and then we're gonna move on to the tonal stuff. Promise. Promise. Okay. There we go. All right. So we now want to put some like tonal sounds on here. So I'm going to just rename this SP tonal. Okay, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to collapse this. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a previously recorded performance, and I'm just going to bring it all the way down into here. I'll just do it right into here, and hopefully I lined that up right. I did not. That's okay. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I did that on channel 1 here, and now I'm going to open up Sensory. This is the second instance of Sensory. It has the wrong models loaded. Okay. And now I'm going to find some, I might just go ahead and, okay, I can't solo that without soloing my vocal as well. But let's go ahead and just loop this little section right here, make sure that it's good, it's lined up. Awesome. Okay, so we loop that section here, and I'm just going to start finding some bass sounds, because what I did is I grabbed the bass performance, the kick drum performance from up there, and I just brought it down here, and nothing should be sounding here, but you can see it's coming through, and it's making the pad light up. So I'm going to go into Voyager, and I'm going to find a bass sound that I like. Okay. Let's see. I feel like this has a good bass sound. So this is Stereo 2 Low. Here's a little hint as well. These are always tuned to C minor, and that's going to be important later. these scales are typically C pentatonic minor, as you can see up here. And so yeah, you see here's the actual sample, and we're going to be playing with that later, but we'll start with it just in C minor. Okay, this is fine. Okay. Oh, and I'm working in the wrong spot. That's okay. That's why I could hear all the drums. So I'll go ahead and move this to the right spot. Let's see how this sounds here. Something's not loading correctly. Or maybe I just didn't put it in the right spot. Yep, this is all quantized and everything. So, okay, hopefully I think it was just a matter of the audio file taking a minute to load. Sometimes that happens in Ableton, I've noticed. Okay, and so now I'm going to find a chord that goes with this, a C minor chord. Okay. And I'm going to turn on my camera again, because I should have made it so that it never ever goes to sleep. Okay. And so now I'm going to find a chord in here. So I want to go into Voyager again. Okay, so I'm in samples now. So I was in kits before. I'm in samples because I just want to find a chord, not like not a full instrument. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just in Voyager Sounds Volume 1, and I'm just going to type in C minor. Okay, cool. All right, I like that chord. So I'm just going to assign center to edge, and I'm dragging this chord now on to the zone. So now it creates this nice little sampler, and I set it to retrig so that it doesn't layer over itself when I play it a bunch of times in a row like this. Cool. Okay, and so from here, let's see. I'm gonna hold off. Actually, I'm not gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna put it on random. We'll see how this is. This is going. I don't know how this is gonna be, but do a little modal mixture between the C minor and the C major chord. They're two different timbres too. So yeah, I set it to random. So who knows when it's going to occur? And actually, because of a step later on that I'm thinking about, I'm going to set it to cycle, and I'm actually going to do something like this. Because which is, I don't want it to be random. I think that's going to make things a little bit too complicated. So I'm just putting a lot more C minors in there, and then some. Occasionally maybe a few C major sevens, and so I'm just pasting them, and yeah, I'll just shuffle them around. Okay, so now we'll actually have a pattern. So who knows what this will sound like? It's part of the experimenting. Okay, so. Let's turn this metronome back on and lay down a couple little phrases, and we're going to be using the printing, like I said before. We'll be printing after this, and I'll talk about what that is. Okay, cool. So we're on sensor 2. Okay, right here. All right, that's fine. Okay, maybe we won't even make it into 1 minute and 20 seconds. But I like that. Okay, so from here, I want to print that. I want to make that because I have this cycle in here, and it's going to be taking input from that performance that I just recorded, and I want it to be the same performance every time. So I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to go ahead and print all of these, why not, and just go ahead and turn on these outputs. This is going to be recording the outputs of the Sensory Percussion plugin. So, and I'm going to do it for the drums too, because I just like to do everything all at once. And maybe I'll check the comments and talk while it's going, because this happens in real time. So, and I believe while I was talking, I would just be recording zeros on that. So yeah, I need those. Cool. I don't need this. This is just going to be confusing. Cool. So now, starting from the beginning, from the top, all I'm going to do is hit record. And I have record. I forgot to mention, I like this about Ableton. They let you key map things. So I just like to key map the lowercase r to my record button. So it's just a kind of a nice thing. I mean, other people probably do other things to that, but I like R for record. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'm going to check the comments now to see what's going on. Okay, yeah, hi guys. This is I see Ben and I see Matthias and Michael Street. Wow, what amazing. Oh, and Ford. And I have a lot of people that I know here, which is super nice. And thank you guys for joining. Let's see. While we're doing this, is this going to affect the print if I sidechain it to my? I'm not going to do that. I was going to sidechain the whole thing to my vocals. I don't think this will affect the print though if I just like move all. So this is going to be important because I'm going to be selecting this audio in the future and actually doing some fun things with the pitch to it, because right now we're just all in C minor and I'd like to not be all in C minor the whole way through. So sorry this is in real time, it's just the way it has to be. Okay, and I'm going to wait for the rest of the drums too. Okay, it's just 4 more bars. And we can turn this off. Okay, cool. So that's printed now. So what I need to do is basically just disable the outputs of the SP plugin. And I think because I didn't set up any routing, I'm actually going to copy this drum bus that I had on the drums and put it on here. And you can see I recorded the master outs for this. Probably not necessary, but I have it muted already, so you can see it's muted here. Okay, so now I'm just going to deselect all. So I'm just hitting Command and I'm pressing that, so that just automatically selects this button, and now I can turn it all the way off. It's nice. Okay, and so I'm going to want to have this turned on and that one off. Okay, and now I'm going to want to do the same thing for the tonal sensory sounds, which are right here. So I'm going to mute that and then go ahead and unmute that, and that's all set. Good. So and this is kind of the last thing I wanted to go over. So if anybody has any questions, I will be checking the comments, but I'm going to be doing some fun things with the pitching this individual parts, and we'll see how that sounds. But after the fact, because this is all in C minor, we don't want it to all be in C minor. Some of it is nice, but some nice change would be good. So if you feel free to write a question in the comments or something while I'm going through this this next part, and I will take a look and try to get to it. Okay, but first things first. This is the tonal material. These are the I have to forget not to do that. Let's see. Okay, so this is the bass sounds. And I'm going to go ahead and put a compressor on them, and maybe that nice drum bus plugin. I put it on anything and it sounds awesome. Whoops. Not delay. Drum bus. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's all right. Bad boy bass. Okay, and then so now, whoops. So now, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a listen to these chords. Maybe I'll add a little bit of reverb to them. Let's go ahead and find the reverb. Cool. There we go, and let's. So just going ahead and let's make it nice and long. Maybe some delay too. Where's delay? Delay. There. I always do this. Put that front in the chain, and let's make it polyrhythmic. That's nice. Okay, so I promised I was going to do some cool things with the pitch, so let's let it stay in C minor for a while. But okay, when it gets to here, who knows where this is? But I'm just going to go ahead and grab. I'm going to grab maybe one bar, maybe just one bar. This is 2 bars. 2 bars is fine. Let's grab 2 bars. Select them. So I just did a Command E there, so that made a cut on both sides. And I'm going to select both of them. So when I select both of them, it's got this nice little stripes. Okay, and let's go down 3 steps. So I just hit the transpose, and it's going to go down 3 steps here. So if I play from here, that's cool. Maybe let's go up 3 steps instead of down 3 steps. Up a minor third. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to also then sidechain compress the vocals. Sorry, not the vocals. The tonal stuff to the drums. So that would be SP mixer outs, this one up here. So basically whenever I'll pull that threshold down, that ratio up nice and high. So the drums are going to cut through this tonal stuff. Let's take a listen to that again. Kind of a little odd measure. Let's because that one's so weird. Let's make it weird up here. Let's make that and warp has to be on for this. So warp has to be on, or else it will mess with the time. So this is time stretching it. So put that up 7, up a 5th. Okay, and I forgot to record a little bass part here. I already disabled it, and so let's mess with the audio. Maybe I can bring in some of this original audio. But I don't know. Actually, I would probably just go back and record this if I were doing it for real. But I already printed, so I don't feel like setting it all up again. Let's see how that sounds. Whoops. Okay. Let's see if there's any questions. Oops. Oh, that's good. Okay, and that'll be right here. I don't see any questions, so that's great. Let's take out some of these notes here and there. I like to do that. Okay, and that's the song. So okay, if we do that, I don't know. I'm just messing around here. I don't think there's much else I really was itching to show, but I appreciate you guys coming. I'll probably just let this song play out as is. Well, let's hear this first. I don't know how this is going to sound. Maybe it doesn't sound good, but. Let's change these to a different key. That might be fun. Okay. I liked 7. Let's do 7 steps up. Yep, I have both of them. 7. Boom. Then just fade that out. Okay, and that's a song. Yeah, I would work a little bit harder and maybe do some other stuff, but I think I should put a stop to this. And I appreciate everyone coming. Let me just double check to make sure there's no more questions or any questions, and then I will play it and I will end the stream. And I appreciate you guys. You coming out and watching, and hopefully you learned something. And take care, everybody.